Hey, welcome back to the Slots at Shawn podcast. I'm your host, Shawn, and today I'm joined by Ethan of Slots2bFrank. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a quick introduction?
Hey everyone, Slots2bFrank, or known as Ethan. I recently, in the last year, started a channel. I've always been kind of a gambler in life and figuratively at the casino, and it kind of took off. Started a little over a year ago, and my views on TikTok were pretty nice. And next thing you know, I'm producing stuff on YouTube and all over the place, and I still to this day enjoy making content and meeting fans and greeting with people and now joining podcasts.
I was going to say, now you've made it. You're on the Slots at Shawn podcast. So you started your channel just about a year ago, or over a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
What was the starting line? Like, why did you get started?
So me and my wife Carly, who's also on the channel, for those that watch us have seen her. She's bubbly as can be. We love to go to Vegas, and so we've always been going there a couple times a year. I started this whole, call it, finance YouTube, and I tried to take off in social media with that. I just wasn't that interested in it. And so I had a little bit of followers on TikTok, and I'm like, I'm going to post this fun clip of us in Vegas. And it was gambling videos of like hand pays and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my highest video I ever had. Like, it made all of my other videos look bad. So then I'm like, what happens if I post another one? And
Mm-hmm.
and it just kept going, and it was
Yeah.
snowballing. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's see what this can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, where it really started. And then towards the end of November, the big thing that really pushed the channel was we're betting $1 on our favorite cuddle machine on Firelink. It's where the big two-seaters are, So we're just sitting there chilling, and no joke, a mega goes on the top after we had just hit the minor
Mm-hmm.
for like 350 on $1. It's already on the screen, and then the mega shows up, and we're both like, oh my gosh, this could be our biggest ever. We've never had over $10,000 in a hand pay. We actually hit it, and we're screaming. We got a crowd of like 20, 30 people that showed up behind us, and it was one of those moments that were like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, I took a chunk of that winnings. I bought my wife a Bengal cat. It's our third one, called Louie. He's a little snow Bengal, aka Mega Jackpot. And then we took the rest of the funds and continued to build the channel. And it just snowballed from there. So it was like, how do we take this and go build content? So that's how we actually started, like making this for real.
I feel like I watched that one, and were you teased the mega first?
Yes.
I
So
feel like I saw two videos back to back of like, oh, you missed the mega. Oh, we got the mega.
so when I get kind of like in that mood towards the end where I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna let the machine decide if I'm going home or not going home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I like had my last, I don't know, $300 in the machine. And I started betting $10. I'm like, we'll take 30 spins and see what happens. Get the bonus, and the mega shows up on a $10 bet. And we get up to 2 spots away, and I'm like, no, like we'll never see that thing again. And so we ended up getting a drink or something, and we put the bets back down to $1, and we're like, well, all right, let's chill. We've had our rush for the day.
Mm-hmm.
We had our rush for the day. And that's why in the video when we hit the mega and the minor shows up, I'm just like whack, 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 like no care in the world. And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I remember you calling out for more champagne, I think.
It sounds like me.
You mentioned Vegas, and I got to say, before we hopped on the call, I did a call out on social media for if anybody had any questions about you all or the channel, and one person responded, when's the next trip to Vegas? And if you're going to do a meetup when you go back. Is any a meetup in the cards?
So there is a couple fans that'll be out there on my next Vegas trip. We have a couple in the works this year. One that's probably going to be at the end of this month. We haven't officially booked it, but we're about to do that. And then I'll be out there Super Bowl weekend. And you're going to laugh at me for saying this, but like I knew it was Super Bowl weekend. I didn't know the Super Bowl was in Vegas.
Mm.
So
Not
I'm
a
like
football
super
guy?
pumped about this. Like because like I've never been around the Super Bowl, and so like I want to see what it's all about. And so
Yeah.
I'm pumped for that. So I'll be there Super Bowl weekend. And then the next one after that, I think is probably going to be at least guaranteed in October, but so we've only got 3 planned for right now.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's the next couple Vegas trips.
That's funny. Both February and October, I have trips booked. Also, Super Bowl weekend, I booked my comp stay with MGM Properties, and I'm looking at flights. I'm hoping they'll dip a little bit. Not looking likely. But I was like, I want to go. Like, what are the odds of like being in Vegas, being able to get a cheap last minute ticket to the game or something? But I'm like, oh no, they're like $10,000. Not
Right,
not
right.
gonna not gonna work out. So I actually might cancel that trip. But then I'll be out in October twice. Once for G2E, which is a global gaming expo. I've gone once in the past 2 years. I had a family emergency this past October, so I didn't get to go. But super fun. You get to see all of the upcoming themes from all your favorite brands. So like IGT, Light and Wonder, like all those gaming companies showcase their new games.
Hmm.
So be there for that, and then again for the When We Were Young festival, going with a small group to live out my punk rock, punk pop days. So
That's when I will be there too, because my wife really wants to go to that festival.
yeah, that's awesome. I am a big I talk about it all the time. I'm a big MGM guy and a Win Encore guy, and I booked stays at both resorts because they're both comp. Why not? And
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out if I'm close enough to the fairgrounds or not, or if I need to find something closer, like the Strat or something. But
you're gonna be doing some walking.
I'll be doing some walking because for sure not going to get a cab or a lift that day.
Right, right.
But it'll be October. It'll be on the cooler side. So
Hmm.
perhaps our paths will cross and we can do a meetup ourselves with our audiences. So
That'd be fun.
yeah. You talked a little bit about, low rolling it, if you will, on the Firelink machine. And your channel, you have a mission of showcasing how to have fun at slots without breaking the bank. Like, what are some tips that you have for folks that watch your videos, or what are some of the things that you teach or coach to your viewers to stay in line with that mission?
Yeah, so great question. And, first and foremost, gambling is something that can be detrimental to anyone. No matter, even if today you think there isn't an issue,
Hmm.
you got to be careful because it fires off dopamine and all this energy in
Hmm.
someone's brain and gives them levels of excitement. And you got to ask yourself, like, am I excited for the game or am I chasing something that,
Hmm.
you know, is it maybe realistic?
Yeah.
And so all these megas and grand jackpots that we've hit over the last year has, I can't tell you how many people have come up to us and been like, I actually believe I have a chance and I don't have to
Hmm.
chase it anymore.
Hmm.
And I can come out and just have fun. And if it's my turn, it's my turn,
Correct.
and I'm glad that we can push that out there because I love going to the casino. I enjoy it.
Hmm.
It's more than just about the money. It's about the social vibe, the music, the drinks, being around friends, having a good
Yeah.
laugh. I'm a video gamer, so I get a little video game
Mm.
action in. And we're in an environment right now in the slot community where like games are thriving. I remember
For sure.
watching people like Lady Luck back in the day when Lightning Link was a big thing. Like, oh my gosh, we get 6 of
Hmm.
the whatever those orb things
Oh,
are,
yeah.
and it was like, wow, we got the hold and spin feature, and that's like old news now. Like, there's
Hmm.
so many games that have so much fun stuff happening now, which is
Hmm.
why you got to be careful because um, if you're not watching it, you get caught up in it. And there's nothing worse than leaving the casino with a feeling like I shouldn't have done that.
Hmm.
And if you're betting lower, I'm not gonna hide around the bush. If you have $500 and you're betting a dollar or less, do you know how long it's gonna take you to burn through that?
Hmm.
You're gonna be bored by the end of that. By the time you finish, unless you're like a full tweaker hit, like
Yeah.
you're gonna be bored by the end. So
Yeah.
you get a chance to experience a lot of different things. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. I mean, just I think you've hit on it. Like, play within your budget and don't chase. That kind of leads into my bankroll management question for you. You allude to on your lives and on TikTok being a budget and finance guru. Uh, what are some of the strategies that you employ in your day-to-day life to make sure that you have a little bit of cash to go to the casino?
I would say I'm not a material guy. I
Mm,
love experiences. So I'm not the guy that is going to buy, a fancy new truck. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to buy a fancy brand new house or
mm,
all this, things that to me mean nothing. I love the experiences, the traveling, the exploring, all that kind of stuff,
yeah.
which means I'm not locked up in debt. I'm not locked up in payments. So my cash flows is maximized to allow
Hmm.
me to do what I want when I want, kind of thing. And I'm okay with that. It would be nice to have that, massive this or that every once in a while, but
Hmm.
like I always ask myself, then what? you know?
Hmm.
And so that has allowed me to personally put the material stuff aside and focus on the experiences and whatever that might be. So um, which means I do a lot of saving, I do a lot of investing, and sometimes when the investing pays off, like in 2020, I was such a I don't want to call it a penny pincher, but I saved a lot of cash and didn't ever really do anything with it. In 2020, I took the leap after the market crash and I dumped a bunch of money in
Hmm.
the market, and it basically bought me a Harley. So, I'm a Harley guy. Me and my wife love to ride motorcycle to and from the casinos and travel. It's fun because, they're pretty spread out, so it's a nice ride.
Hmm.
But every once in a while, I'll splurge on something nice like that. But for the most part, I keep my bankroll pretty high because I don't lock myself up in the monthly payments. So if I want to
Hmm.
spend a bunch of money gambling this month, so be it. If I want to go to a Kane Brown concert the next month, well, then I'm going to gamble less.
I was the first in my family to navigate like working for free in an internship and also trying to go to school and having three on-campus jobs to pay for it and all this stuff.
Mhm.
So now when I get that paycheck or get that money, I'm like, do I want to put it in a slot machine like all the time? I don't like I worked hard for that. Like
Right.
and sometimes it's the entertainment budget. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
nah, I'm not gonna go today, but I might have a comp or something, so I'll go and spend a few dollars. So
Mhm.
but I agree with you. It's all about, figuring out what that entertainment budget is, and if you want to put it all in the casino, great. That's great for you. But if you want to be able to earmark it for other things and convert to go to Kane Brown, for me that would be if Britney Spears goes back to Vegas, or the When We Were Young festival. But it it's all it's all relative to your budget. You're talking a little bit about doing a meetup. I think the next time you go to Vegas, or trying to do something with some fans or followers. What is your goal in doing that? Like, what do you hope to gain from that experience? I feel like
More ex-
everyone online now is doing a meetup or meeting, calling out to come get your bracelet, come find me at this casino, this resort. Like, what do you hope to gain from that experience?
more experiences.
Okay.
So so the amount of call it used to be fans now are friends
Mhm.
that I've gained from this channel. The amount of people that like on a random Wednesday night I could shoot a text and go, "Hey, let's go out to the casino and let's shoot some film and then, shoot the shit a little bit," kind of
Mhm.
thing. And it it's amazing. Like the Vegas or the trip that is coming up here for the Super Bowl. First off, the flights were next to nothing, so I gotta go.
I'm shocked.
$157 through Delta.
Round
Like
trip?
round trip. It's broken.
Let's say
So
don't say it
like
too loud. They'll cancel your flight.
right, I might be able to pawn it off to someone. But
Well, your door might fall off, but too soon.
right? Oh gosh. I remember seeing that. But thank God everyone was okay on that, or at
Yeah,
least what I read.
yeah.
But anywho, one of the fans that again has now become more of a friend. Matt, hopefully you're not mad that I'm throwing your name out there, but he's someone that he's friends with other community channels that are just like me, like a Slot Master or a Bubba 316 Picks and
Hmm.
numerous other. We're all kind of grew up together in this community over the last
Hmm.
year, and he was out there the last time I was in Vegas, and we had a blast. Like we just ran from location to location, playing new games, doing all
Hmm.
sorts of just weird things and dumb things, and then sit down at the video poker playing quarter to have a Jack diet or something. And
Hmm.
you know, again, that was one of those times where I met him for the first time. He's a fan, and now I call him a friend. And so picked up the phone. I'm like, hey, we should go out there this weekend. Let's do it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna make it happen. And I know there's gonna be a couple other people that might come out there that weekend too. So I guess where I'm going with this is, you know, I don't do this for the money. I do this for the entertainment and the
Mm-hmm.
fun. And it's kind of a 360 because I am an entertainer in a way when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but on the flip side, like I love meeting up with people, chatting with them, getting to understand why they like it, all that kind of stuff. So that's what actually makes me enjoy it more than anything because I'm a social bee.
Mm-hmm. I it's funny you should say that I'm an entertainer. It feels weird. Just had this conversation with a friend of mine earlier today. I'm going to the first ever Sloticon. Have you heard about this?
No, I haven't. What is
It is like
this?
a Comic-Con for casino content creators. It's happening at Foxwoods Resort Casino this Saturday, January 13th from 1 to 4. Shout out. And well, I guess at this point it'll be in the past when this episode airs, but it is, I think, 35 content creators will be there. We have a private VIP dinner Friday night. We're bringing some guests and fans from our channels. Foxwoods is hosting. It's organized by Mr. Hampay.
Mhm.
And Jackpot Beauty will be there, and some other folks that are kind of bigger name. And then there's us plebes, like Slots with Shawn, that'll be there. And yeah, it'll be a chance for folks that follow us to come and meet us and take pictures with us, grab our swag, enter different free play contests with Foxwoods. It'll be a great gig. But my friend was saying, "Oh, like you're literally an influencer now," and I'm like, "Ew." What does that even mean? Like, what am I influencing? Hopefully not bad decisions, but like, I I I struggle with this idea of like I'm an entertainer because on my day job I'm an educator. Like, it just
Yeah.
feels like the antithesis of what I actually am. So, it's funny you said that. I feel like a lot of us feel the same way of
Are we
like
a blogger? Are we an
what I do.
influencer? Or are we an entertainer?
I'm a content creator. I make content, people watch it, and whatever they get out of that, they get out of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, I I don't know. I turn the camera on and pray for the best. So, um, when you are on live, do you take into consideration like feedback from your audience when you are choosing your machines or what your bet size is or things like that? Or do you just go for it and then people watch what you're doing?
Um, Kind of do a little mix. Like I want people to feel like they're part of the group, you
Mm,
know? So like if I see stuff where especially if they're like a member of the channel or a
mm,
top supporter, like I want to make sure that, they feel like they're getting something. And so if that means that they're like pick the right side when you get a lightning link bonus or they tell you
mm,
to pick a certain color or anytime I get a bonus where you like pick like the like dancing drums, like think about
mhm.
like how I'll
It's
be like,
always
all right,
something that
everyone in
doesn't
the
matter.
chat, 1 through 20, tell me the number and I'm gonna pick it,
Yeah.
like just goofy things like that because the one thing that we don't want to lose is the connection. And it's
Mm,
like we want to make sure that they feel involved in part of it. So I try to the much as much as I can.
mhm.
Um, I don't necessarily pay attention to the bet stuff because again, it comes back to what our mission is have fun
Mhm.
while you're playing the game. And
Right.
we focus on multiples. So, like, if you bet $1 and you win
Mhm.
50, it's 50x. You win 100, it's
Right.
100x. Doesn't matter if you're betting five, $100,
Mhm.
50 cents.
Yeah.
It all stays the same. If you're not winning, 50x on your bets or the occasional 100x, your casino night might end soon, you know?
Right.
Because
Exactly.
the average bets between or the average bonus is between like 15 and like 30x your bet, which means if every 30 spins you're not getting a bonus, you're going to be in trouble.
Mhm.
Your bankroll's going down.
Sure is. Sure
But
is. And I do that same math when I'm watching bigger channels, right? When I'm watching Raja, the big jackpot, or things they're doing like
mhm.
$400 bets and things like that. I'm like, okay, so that's a $4 bet for me, and he won 10 grand. I would have won $1,000. Like I'm trying to do the math of like what would a reasonable person would have won.
Oh
So
my gosh. So this is a little fun thing at home. If you ever
yeah,
want to feel like you're being them for a little bit without being them, right?
yeah.
Change the thing so that you don't see the dollars, right?
Oh,
This
for
is a little
sure.
fun thing to do. And
Mhm.
then, like recently I'm like, Carly, we just won 14,000. Holy. And all
Credits.
of a sudden, like 10 people turn around and look, and then she goes, pennies. And you
Yeah.
could it's the same kind of concept without extra dollar
Mhm.
signs.
Exactly. No one needs the decimal. It's
No
fine.
one needs it. If you ever try it though, I guarantee you a ton of people will turn around and it's
Yeah.
absolutely hilarious.
You're like, how come we don't see the call attendant message? What's happening?
Fast pay.
Exactly. Exactly. Who are some of the folks that you are watching these days? Do you engage in like following the Big Jackpot or Mr. Handpay or things like that?
I would say personally an idol that I watched and at least got a good chunk of time to talk with them and learn a little and have I'll call it mentory moments, I guess, would be Francine and Mirren or Lady Luck and Dude Luck.
Yeah.
Those guys have been, I've watched them forever. They say don't meet your hero. We met them a couple times in Vegas. They remembered us as the Jabberwocky couple because we both had Jabberwocky sweatshirts on. And no, they're always bubbly personality or was something that we enjoyed no matter kind of what was going on. And so
Mm.
they were the people that we watched the most. Don't get me wrong, I definitely watched the Big Jackpot. I met Vegas Matt last time I was
Mm.
um, in Vegas, and I was actually live, and he was live right behind me
That's awesome.
at
Where
the
were you guys
Cosmo
filming? Where were you live?
at the Cosmopolitan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's nice going to the Cosmo and seeing all the big streamers and watch what they do and
Hmm.
how they do it and so forth. And I'm glad that at least to the people that I've paid attention to, um, everyone seems very friendly. Like no one's toxic, no one's trying to,
Mm.
get at each other. We're all trying to do the same thing and have a good time.
Right.
And then
Right.
the other thing I would say is I definitely enjoy communicating with the smaller channels that are similar to myself, like Slotmaster and
Hmm.
Bubba or Jake. These guys were all kind of going through the same thing together as we're trying to learn why did TikTok take that video down? Why what's going on with Facebook? Like all these things as a blogger, influencer, whatever we want to call ourselves,
Yeah.
as we try to go through this world together. There's so many things that you just like feel like you're running strong, and then whack, a new wall comes in. You're like,
It's a
yeah,
weird thing. Yeah. Yeah. It's just for no reason. Yeah. There are weird
yeah,
things that happen all the time on those social platforms.
yeah,
I said I wasn't going to get negative just like 10 minutes ago. And TikTok is a blessing and a curse. It's more of a curse these days for folks that do casino content. But
yeah,
it really, I'm in like purgatory right now, 200, 300, 400 view purgatory. Like,
yeah,
something sad. I'm like, where's the 50, 60, $100,000 view, like 100,000 views I was getting? Like, where did all that go? They don't
yeah.
like me. It's fine. I'm gonna cut this bit out. So,
I do think it's important for those that realize that TikTok goes through waves.
hmm.
And what I mean by that is I've watched from the beginning when a lot of us blew up, it was because of our lives. It was not because of the
Hmm.
videos we were posting.
Right.
And so there was strategy along trying to grow your TikTok because you wanted to get your base view up so that when you were live, that red ring was to more people.
Hmm.
Well, then when that kind of shut down in February, everyone was lost. What do we do?
Hmm.
And, the next thing was like, okay, we can't play live, but we can still post videos.
Hmm.
And the whole creator fund came out, and
Yeah.
that was amazing. And then I don't know what it was in September, October time period, but it felt like things were starting to slow down as if they weren't being pushed on the For You page. And
Right.
I do agree things are slowing down, but I also remember the days in January of last year where I was excited to get $1 a day from the original OG
Yeah.
creator fund or whatever it was, not the beta. And it was like, all right, if I can get $1 a day, that's $30. Like that might help with a live or something.
Yeah. Or like my Lyft to the casino or Uber home or whatever. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
But I it does make me nervous that, it became substance and I personally got used to it, getting
Hmm.
income from TikTok. And it was like where I grew my channel. Now it's like I got to get the other stuff up and going, like the long form content. And
Right.
it, I don't know. So it's tough transition.
Yeah, I spent so much time focusing on TikTok when in the early days I should have been pushing more to YouTube and other platforms that allow that content. It just,
Yeah.
but
Isn't that the
anyway,
beauty in this though? That's
I
the
love that
thrill.
no day is the same. So-
Well, like, so the one thing I love about like creating this stuff is the unknownness, and it
Mhm.
there's walls, and sometimes it keeps me up at night. But like it's fun. Like we're struggling through this together, just learning new things, and think about how
Mhm.
much smarter you are about when it comes to online, content creation and all this kind of stuff than you were a year ago today. And like
Mhm.
it feels nice to know like the knowledge level, uh, the gain that has happened over the last year.
Yeah, I mean, I routinely think about that with my educator hat on of like, this discomfort was growth. I love this, like this is what I'd be telling a student. This is great.
Right, right, right.
Like lean into the ick is my motto with some of my students. Is like you might feel like you're like embarrassing yourself, but you're not going to find the people that are like you if you don't lean into it. So
Right, right.
that's definitely been doing that online a lot lately. Just going back to Lady Luck and Dude Luck real quick. Huge shout out to them. I think I haven't met them yet, but online they are the kindest people.
Yeah,
I've engaged more with Lady Luck, the power of the $5 bet. She taught me that, and that it's so true.
yeah,
And that's my comfort level when I'm at the casino is like that $4 to $7 range is like where I do best and can sustain the most. And I hit so many great things on a $5 bet. So
yeah,
shout out to Lady Luck HQ for
for
that words of
sure.
wisdom. Um, so aside from fangirling over these folks, you mentioned a couple other more local channels or friends that you've made through content creation. Do you have any other collaborations on deck aside from Matt, who you gave a shout out to going to Vegas? Any other collaborations or partnerships coming up?
I mean, SD guy 1 2 3 4.
Yeah.
We always run into each other, but we've never collabed. And like one of these days, we're gonna get
Do
a
you
beer
really
and
see him?
huh?
Do you really run into him?
Oh, he comes up and hugs me.
Does he? Oh, I love
He did,
that. I
he
love
did
that. I
that.
literally laugh out loud like all the time. Like the shit that he says as he's like playing the machine. I laugh out loud.
He's super, super nice guy. He might have some
Mhm.
interesting comments on his lives to some people, but
Yeah.
he's super nice guy. Like
Yeah.
again, it comes down to I've never really had or ran into a streamer that I was like, man, that person's rude, or
Mhm.
like I've been fortunate so far that everyone I've met in the community, but yeah, he cracks me up.
I see. I was gonna say recently, but I feel like it maybe wasn't recently. You and Carly traveling to Biloxi a few times. Is that through uh, an invitation from a local resort, or are you guys going down because you like to travel that way?
We MGM, like you
Mhm.
mentioned earlier, we like MGM properties, and we went down there through their MGM like air program or
The flight
whatever.
offers, yeah.
You got it. And we did it in January, and that's when we hit our second mega on 75 cents, hit
Mm-hmm.
17,000 something with Rich Little Piggies. And that's when the Piggy Slayer was born. A lot of people joke with me that
Slayer.
that's what I am because of how many grand jackpots and megas I've hit now with that game. But, um,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, as we went down to Biloxi, one thing we love doing down there is running up and down the beach and finding different little, you know, sea creatures or whatever have you, and then getting oysters at least once during the trip. And yeah, it's a nice switch from our Minnesota cold weather here because
Yeah.
it's beautiful down there. And I just wish when I went down that direction, like I wish they had the multipliers and everything that you get in Vegas
Mm.
in Biloxi. Like it's the same property. MGM, if you're listening, if you're doing 3x holiday points in Vegas, can you do it on all your properties? So like I don't feel like I have to go to just one location. But
It's interesting because the regional resorts up here do that. We have MGM Springfield here in Springfield, Massachusetts, and they
Uh-huh.
do follow a lot of those promotions.
Oh,
But I noticed Borgata in Atlantic City, down in Biloxi, Bois Rivage, right?
yeah,
Um, they don't. I don't think MGM National Harbor does. Like, it's interesting.
yeah,
Mhm. But
definitely.
I'm with you. Let's sign the petition.
Yeah,
Change.org, MGM International.
right, right.
Give
And
us the
like
holiday points.
when you've got those multipliers in
Yeah.
Vegas too for the tier
Hmm.
advancements,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, I want to go to Biloxi because it's cheap. The flights are
Hmm.
cheap, the offers
Hmm.
and everything, and I enjoy the environment down there. But like, if you're gonna give me multipliers and tier advancements, it's hard for me to
Hmm.
be like, I want to go there versus there kind of thing. So maybe
Yeah, I
someday they'll
agree.
change that.
Minnesota. Are you in the St. Paul area, or are you like
Yeah.
where do you hang
Yep.
out?
Minneapolis, St. Paul area, Western Metro.
Yeah. I the only thing I know about Minnesota is the Minnesota mom girl on TikTok, the Minnesota salads that aren't real salads.
Right? We got some pretty good famous people on TikTok from Minnesota.
Closing here, like what haven't I asked you that you want to tell folks about? Any words to your followers or anything that you want to share with folks online?
I mean, first and foremost, obviously, a massive, massive thank you to all of our followers and our fans, friends, family, anyone that's been there to support us. It's it's a grind. It's been a grind, and our transparency is key to passing that across. Not trying to use this as a shout out or anything like that, but I think it was about a week ago or a week and a half ago. I went full transparency on how much it actually costs to gamble and everything on my
Mm.
on a live in the beginning of this year, and was letting everyone know why we're going to switch when we upload our videos, how we're going to handle that. It's just more consistent, and
Hmm.
you know, when you think of an airplane when it takes off, it's a lot of excitement going on when you get going fast and you take off, and as soon as the landing gear, when the wings stuff changes, you start coasting, right? And all the excitement is still there, but it's not um it's not sustainable to be
Hmm.
going live 4 times a week or 3 times
Hmm.
a week or 20 times a month. And
No.
so we got to get into a more consistent rhythm that would allow us to still maintain, a normal life, and then also enjoying the things that we like to enjoy. So, um, takeoff is was rough. We learned a lot. We struggled. We had a lot of interesting conversations over a lot of these things, and uh, we're here now, but we're in a good place, and we really enjoy the outlook on how things are going to look for the upcoming year. And um, really thankful that you're able to bring me on this podcast. And I wish Carly could be here, but
Yeah.
for all the fans out there, it's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. She's teaching dance. One of her favorite hobbies is teaching dance, and so she's out for the evening doing that. And maybe on another time she'll be able to join on the podcast. But I I super happy. This is my first like official podcast, so like I'm excited to hear it air and see how it
I'm
went.
honored.
And
Yeah.
huh?
I said I'm honored. That's awesome.
Right, right. So I'm sure there's lots of stuff I'm missing, or when you're on the spot, I'm definitely not polished enough to know what to. I'm sure I missed other slot
Yeah.
streamers I love to chat with and BS with, but and fans and other supports, but yeah, it's quite the community we've built, and I'm super excited for the upcoming year.
Yeah. I mean, based on what you shared, I'm excited for you. It's going to be a great year. I think just going back to your statement about being polished, your fans aren't watching you to be polished, right? Like you're drinking in a casino. They want to hear authentic Ethan, and I think you delivered authentic Ethan. So I appreciate you being here, and I think that it's a start of hopefully some more collabs in the future. Let's do a TikTok battle soon. And see kind of where that goes. And in closing, where can folks find you online? Where are you trying to grow?
So if you would like to follow or see our content, we are Slots to be Frank, all one word. And we're on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all those fun major streaming platforms. We've got a lot of people making fake accounts around us now, which is how you know
Mm.
when you've made it.
Yeah.
So
The
the
podcast wasn't it?
podcast, I know I'm there, but I feel like we should play that song. We made it. But anyways, it, you'll know if you find us. It's very obvious that it's our channel if you found it. But yeah, Slots to be Frank on all platforms is where you can see us.
Absolutely. And you can find me at Slots with Shawn on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Literally anywhere you are on social media, I am there as well. I'm not going to list them. And Ethan, it was so great to talk to you today. And again, I hope that we can meet up again in the future.